Good day, lords and ladies, and welcome back to Monster Hunter Wilds. So today we are here to talk about a new aerial insect glaive build, where we have managed to finagle things to get a little bit more of the things that I traditionally value, without too heavy of a penalty. So we're going to talk about it. We are also here on the day after the weekly reset, and so we are going to go and have a quick chat with our support desk cat to pick up the bounty, because we are going to be demonstrating the build on one of the hunts that will fulfill the bounty. So, as you can see here, this week we have the quest for 5 quests for ranked 1 star or higher, 3 quests in the Ice Shard Cliffs, 5 large high-rank bird wyvern monsters, and 3 tempered monsters ranked 6 or higher. So, before we get to any of that, let's talk about the build. If we run over to Gemma real quickly, we can see what our new build looks like. First and foremost, in my off-camera assorted grinding, you should know that we have actually landed on basically an ideal blast glaive for now. You know, it got 4 attack and 1 element boost, which I can deal with. Our sword, our longsword, you can see got 2 affinity and 2 attack, but that is not the important part of what we're dealing with. The important part of what we're dealing with here is this armor set, where we are using 3-piece Rathalos. Now, the reason we're doing this primarily is because we have to maintain Master Mounter, and that presents a unique issue for aerial insect glaive, because there are not that many sets that have Master Mounter, and all of them are on alpha sets, so our economy for gem slots is really, really suffering. Yeah, Rathalos has some pretty decent perks on it, that's why we've gone with him in order to maintain the bare minimum of what we need in the build. And then, why we have switched away from Gore Magala to Rathalos to maintain these perks is because we are taking the Arkveld armor perk out for a spin, which is a health regen perk that you get for continuously attacking the monster. So, you can see we are using the Arkveld chest and coil. And then if we take a look at our decorations here, because we are giving up the boost from Gore Magala's Tyranny and the interplay with Coalescence, we are picking up an extra attack jewel. Instead of what we were doing before, we have equipped the attack jewel and the handicraft jewel, because I've had some really weird hunts lately where the monster just doesn't want to leave the arena. Alternatively, if you find the damage lacking, you can use double attack jewel or double expert jewel. But in my testing of the build, I found that handicraft and attack works best with, of course, the enhancer to get the power prolonger, which is super important for insect glaive and longsword. And then we are adding in the jewels for recovery speed and recovery up, and the last 2 levels of Constitution. And then we kind of have 2 gem slots that we can play with a little bit. And between gaining another point of weakness exploit on the level 3 deco slot, or going for 2 levels of Partbreaker, testing has shown that the Partbreaker actually helps more for what we're doing. And of course, for our talisman, we are using the completed Marathon Runner charm, so that we maintain the Constitution and Marathon Runner needed for all kinds of aerial shenanigans, and evade window because I rely on it a lot. So that is pretty much the build, and we're going to head out on one of the hunts that will help us with our weekly bounty, so that you all can see kind of what this looks like. And it is to my good fortune that among the quests that I have saved is one that will help us greatly with our weekly, which is right here. You can see we are going to get our tempered monster ranked 6 or higher from Gore Magala. We're going to get our high rank bird wyvern, and in the Ice Shard Cliffs, and we've not done anything with this great hunt yet, so that is delightful. On which note, we're going to just head straight out. Okay, I'd kill for speed eating earplugs, the works, but you know. We shall survive. And then we want to target the Gypceros first, if we can locate him. He's right there. Grab the Keep Mantle Bug, and away we go. So, the Arkveld health regen is really interesting. It is not like the traditional... It's upset at the goats, of course it is. You know, this is just embarrassing for you, Gypceros. Okay. So, as I was saying before, what are you doing, chicken? Like, legitimately, what are we doing here? So, Arkveld's health regen is very different from what you have traditionally expected with, like, say, Vaal Hazak Vitality or Malzeno's perk, which gave you continuous little bits of health regen from attacking a broken part. In Arkveld's case, this health regen is much more like a status build-up for the hunter. And so you need to slap the monster X number of times to get a blast proc. Same kind of thing here, where you are not getting health regen for every little hit that you perform on the monster. Instead, you are getting a build-up by continuously attacking in order to get a chunk of health back. So as you can see, while I was mounted, the perk did proc, so the little slaps that I took from the rubber chicken are not an issue. And you will hopefully see much more on Gore Magala if I can resist my urge to spam heal, as is my tradition whenever I'm in even remote danger. Okay, let's land for a second so you can see. Unfortunate timing for the tornado slash. But that's fine, because that will actually allow you to see the build-up of this attack. There you go. You see up on my health bar where it just refilled my health? That is what you're looking for with the Arkveld. And this is, again, only a two-piece set, because this has to be kind of finagled around the aerial playstyle, which, like, guys, it's miserable without Master Mounter. Like, the amount of mounting and wounding that you are able to conceivably perform in a situation where you do not have Master Mounter is just very sad. So I think as I am looking at designing other builds, I'm going to be looking into designing builds that are more focused around the bow and longsword too, so that we can actually explore a little bit what life is like if you don't have to account for the fact that my silly butt is still in the air all the time, always, if you hand me an insect glaive. And like I said, keeping in mind that the Flash Chicken is not a terribly good life lesson in how this build works, he does help us with our weekly, and for that we are duly grateful. At this point, we have disabled his flash, so we don't need to be concerned about that. And yes, I am neglecting to use an antidote so that I can demonstrate the regen properties. There you go again, little tick, give you a little bit of health back. Like, I imagine 4-piece must be an absolute dream. But until we have a little bit greater armor options, like, geez, the, restrictiveness, like, there's a whole bunch of skills that I just cannot fit in my build right now. Which is interesting insofar as it forces me to, be a little bit more thoughtful about, the builds that I'm putting together, but also supremely annoying, because, like, what is my life without speed eating while I'm getting myself into bad situations? I'm really tempted to go for that chicken. That would save me some time. So we have a bonus Gypceros, and who are we to look a bonus flash chicken in the mouth when we need 5 of these suckers in order to fulfill the requirements for the weekly. Okay, well that's 2 flash chickens for the pile. And now on to the main event, where you guys actually get to see this build in action, because, I mean, let's face it, Gypceros is not a terribly great partner for demonstrating the upside to a build like this. And so we have tempered Gore Magala to face. You know, I don't necessarily agree that I got hit there, but Gore does what Gore wants, I'm afraid. He really is being very annoying about letting me get to his tail. Which I should expect because I'm actively saving them out for when he enrages, but... So one of the things that I do feel the need to point out, because I don't always feel like I express the point of my builds very clearly, is I am not in this for speed in any capacity. You know, Gore... The boy is trying to kill me, and I know he's trying to kill me. Like, imagine baiting me into that tiny little hole. Okay. Look, I am almost never in any game going to be out here saying this is the fastest way to do something. Actually, that's quite opposed to my entire philosophy where I care much more about what is fun for me than anything having to do with speed. It's like I feel like I don't always express like enough. Like I've seen an absolutely incredible like 3-minute and 40-second Jindahad with Insect Glaive, and that is absolutely epic to watch, and I loved watching it. That's not my priority ever. Remember when I told you that being dragged into this this tiny little opening was a fucking death sentence? Yeah, well, as you can see, being dragged into this tiny little hallway by Gore Magala, even though I consciously knew better, was in fact a death sentence. Do not allow yourself to be baited into a tiny hallway by Gore Magala. He will absolutely own you. Almost surely. I'd also like to shout out Maneki there for plundering one of the feelers that I need. What pain is happening? Oh, Kiribame is fabulous. Well, if we are clever, we might be able to use this to our advantage. My builds always prioritize the fun and just... I enjoy the dance, primarily, with Insect Glaive in particular. My priority is always going to be the dance.
Over here, Bob. I'm your target.
It is not in my nature to care about the fastest way to do something, the meta way to do something, certainly. Like, the stories I could tell about why the meta and I are not friends in any game ever, but I'll spare you the gory details. Let's just say that I have my reasons for rejecting the concept of the meta and prioritizing simply what is fun to me. But one of the things that I hope you guys can see when I'm doing these builds and showing you my approach is that you don't always need, like, the total glass cannon, fully optimized, biggest number in the game in order to get the job done. If you would prefer to prioritize... I don't agree, but that's fine. She got me. I actually want to sharpen at this point. Remember what I told you guys? That, I was having some weird monsters that really didn't leave the arena and give me a chance to sharpen, and that's why we were using a handicraft deco. Yeah, but that. He is being very squirrely with mine. I really don't want him in a shock drop yet. Okay, you see that tempered wound too? What do you mean I didn't get game? Mercy. Now is when we want to hit that. With Gore Magala in particular, especially if you need his gear. I've misplaced my Gore Magala. That's not terribly helpful for me. Did he peace out? No, he's still right there. Okay. As I was then. His head. I don't want his head, I wanted his wing. My builds thrive generally on patience, is one of the things that is going to be always a theme with me. Ow. Double ow, because I don't have the decos, or I don't have the armor sphere. Ow. An AD, please. Girl. I still want to hit this damn wound. Unfortunately, Gore Magala has lots of stompies with his wings that make it very, very difficult to actually get to them in a safe manner. I'm gonna try from there again. And immediately get rejected. All on display there, for newer hunters, that is one of the most important things that you can learn early on. Get that? Yeah, got him. Okay, nice. And things are much less frenetic now that we've actually broken his feelers. We can afford to play a little bit more safely. Because the push to break his feelers is no doubt the dangerous part of the hunt if you are looking to make his gear. And not a moment too soon, we're actually going to dismount and let him leave because he is ready for capture. But we don't want to leave without our tail, do we? So we're just going to let him go for a second and catch him up. That's what I get. But no worries. Like, this is something I will always stand by. I will happily take a cart if it is between me and making sure that the monster is secured successfully. Like, especially Gore. Like, especially what they did him so dirty in the campaign. There we go. So there you go. You can see the build has a decent amount of survivability and health regen. This is not a terribly upgraded set because I really don't have the armor spheres for it, but you can see that it is durable enough that you can take that big explosion under most circumstances if you are attending to your health. And that is going to be the demonstration of the Aerial Insect Glaive health regen build, which is just a very nice little comfort if you are willing to sacrifice. I imagine, like, I'm not a math and numbers person, but I imagine you're probably sacrificing damage from Gore Magala's Tyranny and Coalescence, but if you replace it with the attack jewels and you have 3 levels of weakness exploit and 2 of part breaker, you can pretty much get the job done with what you're working with. So there you have it. Aerial Insect Glaive health regen version. And next up, I think I'm going to work on something that is a little bit more geared towards perhaps bow or longsword, because right now I have crafted every single set that I have made for this game, from the hero bomby we wore in the campaign all the way to present, around the idea of being in the air at all times always. So next up, I think we work on a set that is a little bit more focused around my other weapons. For now, thank you so much for joining me. If you have liked this relaxed health regen build, please feel free to like this video, and thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.